Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Actually, there is one fundamental understanding we need to have. Then it becomes many questions can be answered. We need to know what is the difference between karma and bhakti. Then for this Varnashramna, many questions will be clarified. Say, if I give an example, try to understand. Say you are made a manager in a company, and the company gave you an office, it gave a laptop, it gave you a car, it gave you 3, 4 people under you. And now when you are working, uh, all the time we are very clear. This laptop is whose? Companies. This car is for whose? It is also companies. This office is, it also belongs to company. And the people, 4, 5 people, yeah, you can engage them. You can tell them, go to my room and wash my clothes and come, because he's under you. We can be engaged for washing clothes or getting some food delivery or some maybe some personal work. But he can do your personal work, but most of the time he is meant to produce something for the company because company gave you. You can utilize the car for some personal purpose. And now, why all the time one conscious thing is there? What is that? I have to work for the company. All these things belong to the company. This is actually where bhakti and karma process differs. In bhakti, you already have this ego. So where the difference comes is you made up an ego that I belong to Krishna. I am servant of Krishna. When this fundamental change happens, I belong to Krishna, I am servant of Krishna, then all our activities, even taking bath and clearing our stomach, will also become bhakti only, not just bhakti, pure devotional service. Taking bath can be pure devotional service. What to speak of any other activity, varnashrama, this, that. Try to understand that in bhakti, whereas in karma, you may look doing activity, but the ego is not set. Ego is still selfish. I want to do it for myself. I am doing it for myself. Karma, jnana, and yoga, the ego is not properly set. Whereas in bhakti, the ego is itself is first set. That is the fundamental change. Then whatever activity you do, it automatically becomes bhakti. Now, any activity the person is doing, now say he's in the office, now he's working. In between, he want to go and take a break and think tea or a coffee and come. He's counted as working in the office only. And he says, I'll go home, take little rest and come back tomorrow morning. He's still counted. I I wanted to have an interview with Ask the Channel. I asked one Mataji, she works for uh, a newspaper and channel. She's a reporter. I asked, can you take my interview in this channel? Then she said, I had to ask permission. I said, what is permission? You are giving interview for this channel. He said, no, I cannot give like this because I am already employed in this channel. I cannot do for others. I need permission. Then she asked permission because it is free and devotional. So they allowed. I said, can you do more? She said, no, 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 that I cannot do. Why? I think, Dari, what is this? It is her time, her will, but it is not like that. Now she got contract signed that I belong to this channel. She cannot do for others. If I belong to Krishna, the contract is already signed. Then where is the question of doing for anybody else? Any activity you do, you need permission of Krishna. Can I go to Ganesh and come once? I'll just want to do it for my family members. Because they'll be happy if I go to Ganesh. They say, yeah. No, no, you can go. Because it is pleasing to your family, you are going. Not for, but permission is from where? From Krishna only. You are clear. When we have this fundamental understanding that I belong to Krishna, where is a question of it? Now You are sitting in the office and drinking tea. Are you paid for being in the office that time? He said, no. Half an hour you drank tea, we'll not pay for it. No. Whole half your break time is also belongs to office. You are drinking tea also, they are okay. They say you nicely drink tea, nicely have breakfast, nicely have lunch, because that will help you to perform the activity of the office nicely. And some of the offices they give travel allowances. They say you go with your family and come. Why they are giving traveling allowances? So that his family life is very nice, so that he can do the company work very nicely. They'll say they'll give some gifts in the festivals. They'll say we'll give you refrigerator, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. Why company is giving all these facilities in the family? So that his family is nice and then he can work nicely. Similarly, we want to have family nicely. We want to have our health nicely. They'll keep gym also in the offices, right? You can have workouts in the evening time. Why they are giving workouts in the evening time in the office? So that this fellow is healthy, he can perform nicely. So to keep good health, to keep good family, and that's why they give travel allowances and they give so many other things because they want him to be very peacefully performing his activities for the company. Same thing for us. I want to peacefully perform my activity for Krishna. That's it. Anything that is favorable, family favorable, health favorable, environment favorable, finish. That is what I already signed a contract with Krishna. In karma, it is not like that. When person is doing Varnashram Dharma, he is Grahamedi only. Grahamedi means one who performs proper rituals in the house is called Grahamedi. But basically selfish. He is doing everything for himself. I want to gain piety. I want to enjoy. I want to have good life. I want to get good family. I want to have. Basically, the center is self. But for us, bhakti, we already said no, no, no. It is only for Krishna. Good health for Krishna. Good family for Krishna. Good job for Krishna. Anything good for Krishna. This is the main difference in understanding. There is a fundamental. If this is very clear, then many questions can be easily understood. Anukulasa Sankalpa is what? Basically, whatever is making us favorable for doing a proper devotion to Krishna. Now, there is no possibility of doing any other thing. Now, this person is in the office and he has to go to clear his stomach. Easy pay. 20 minutes you went to toilet, will not pay for it. No, no, no. You go clear your stomach nicely so that you are healthy and you can work. That means that is also counted for he's paid for that time also. That means everything is counted as is going for his family with a leave is also paid. He is given leave. Go and enjoy. That is also paid. Why? Because they know that if he goes, he will do nicely. Everything is paid. That means any activity which we are doing, it is all pure devotional service. Even our taking bath is also pure devotional service. When you have signed a contract with Krishna, I am your servant. That's why the title Das is given to us. Das is basically what the ego is given. Once the ego is set, all other activities are very easy to understand. Ego is not set, then we think I should do this is good. This no. First you set your ego. I am servant of Krishna. What else I can do? I can only do one thing. I can serve Krishna. Other than that, I don't know anything. This is actually the difference. Any questions on this? Clear? Yes. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, thank you so much. Very nice example. With example, you made us clear, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like sometimes, Prabhuji, like see example, the brahmacharis in our ISKCON ashram, many boys are getting into this, no, and you are also a brahmachari, Prabhuji. Like, but sometimes the family members may not be happy with you becoming brahmachari or newcomers. Like in that case, taking up a higher caste, we some of you leave the family and come now, Prabhuji. So how to understand this?
We Because that is, I already signed a contract. Now, if family does not agree or agree, what can I do? They may not agree some of the jobs. They say, don't go to America and do a job. But I feel that is what will make my career. I go to America. Some may not agree. Similarly, they may not agree if I sign a contract with Krishna. I say I'll do job for Krishna. They may not agree. But we will do it because that is what is
But in
I
that case, we are going against the family only doing, no, Prabhuji.
we
But
have
we are
to.
discussing here like supporting the family members. We're discussing, no, Prabhuji. This point, I always have a doubt in this.
We have to set our things properly, then we can set others. Because they are in Maya does not mean we have to be in Maya. We have to come out of Maya so that we can help in future. If not now, maybe in future. And most of the brahmacharis parent after 5, 10 years, they also become serious. They also get initiated. And it happened to many brahmacharis. They are in Maya. Oh, they are in Maya. They are not allowing me. I will also continue in Maya. It does not mean. We have to get cured and we have to help them to get cured. That is
Yeah,
all.
Prabhuji, so brahmachari, okay, Prabhuji, like women like us taking care of family. When we come and my husband is not in devotion, means initially the same thing happens to us also. Namji. We have to we have to be very strong initially, at least till
And to
they
not
become
create
understand.
insecurity in them. That is the main thing. Don't create insecurity when you are practicing anything. Don't prove to them that they are the most fallen souls in this world. We are the
No, no,
most.
Prabhuji, about their dependence on us. Like it's not about our relationship with them, Prabhuji. Like all these days, we have been helping them in their materialistic life, no, Prabhuji. We have been with their conscious, and suddenly we are coming into this Krishna consciousness, and we are concentrating more on our chanting and our thing. But we are definitely taking care, Prabhuji. But still, they are a little bit insecure, no. So those things we cannot help, no, Prabhuji. Like
That's what I
minimum.
said. Don't make them insecure by our. Don't show so much that you are whole day sitting and know when they are seeing TV and you are running away from them, showing as if they are the most doing the degraded activity. And when they are want to go for some party and you say, "Oh, all materialistic people, you are so disgusted with such parties." When we show certain very extreme symptoms after coming to, we show some people say pure devotee symptoms that are shown extreme. That causes them insecurity. Otherwise, slowly, why it happens is it happens for everyone because we ourselves are not very clear about bhakti. We understood little bit of bhakti, but we
Mm.
are not very clear with the principles. That's why initially that syndrome comes. But slowly, when devotee they mature, they understand shastra, and when they hear from very mature people, then they understand. Yes, these people have conditioning, and they may not immediately take up. We need to help them to overcome their conditioning, and then you start accepting the person according to conditioning, and you know that okay, if I go to this party with him, then he will be little bit comfortable and he may become little favorable to Krishna consciousness. So that as a motivation you may go for the party to support, and slowly they will also feel okay, even if they are devotee also it is not troubling me, and they will allow you to practice, and in that way they develop the appreciation and they may also come to Krishna consciousness. That is how it should be done ideally. But it don't happen many of the times.
It's not as easy as you say, Prabhuji. You have to indulge practically. We are doing that only. It's not my personal experience. I am having a very favorable atmosphere here in my family. But many of my mentees asked this question, Prabhuji. That is why I asked you this. And it's not that is what they say is like going with them because as you said, Prabhuji, we are also not at in a fixed like we are not in Nishtha, no, Prabhuji. We are also having contention. So when we go for them, we ourselves have a chance of getting contaminated again. That's what they say, Prabhuji. We say that we go for them, but see, for example, they're calling for a movie and we go for them, and somehow we have the taste, no, Prabhuji, then we may get slight contamination. That's what they say, Prabhuji.
That is okay because if they have to take that much of risk because they want
Mm.
to practice for a long time. If they don't,
Mm.
now like it is a trade-off. You are getting 90, you can pay off for 20 rupees from it. You may get 7. It's
Okay.
trade-off because you need to practice for a long time because he's allowing you to cook without onion garlic. He's allowing you to
Mm.
weekly satsanga. He's allowing you 2 hours of your chanting and allowing you to attend your Zoom classes. Okay,
Mm.
you can once in a week sacrifice your class, go with him some party and whatever they want. It's like something we have to sacrifice to get from them. Otherwise, they'll also feel little uncomfortable, and it is not good for Krishna consciousness.
Got it, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes. No, this is very, because people don't understand. Bhakti starts, it is not, there is sensual level. Karma is at the level of senses, engaging the senses and little bit of mind, manas. And whereas jnana is at the level of buddhi, and yoga is helping to control manas. But whereas bhakti it is at the level of ego. Why it is most powerful, most subtlest? Because it's directly starts with ego. First, you give an identity only, you are Das, and then we start everything else. Whereas in karma, you say, okay, Varnashrama, you have to do this, these are the skills for you, you have to do this activity, this activity. Basically, it is focusing on the activities with the more of the senses. And whereas jnana, it is more on a buddhi level. You start understanding, naiti, not this, not this. And whereas, of course, all things are involved in all, but basically the focus is on that level. And whereas yoga, where they do Ashtanga yoga and all, they are more focusing on manas. They're trying to purify all the in manas level. Of course, after coming out of karma only, they can come to that level. But basically, they are controlling their manas, mind. And now, but when bhakti comes, we don't, we do all the things, but basically we start with ego only. The ego is your servant. I said, yes, I am servant of Krishna. So then start your things. You already signed a contract with Krishna. Then everything whole day is your pure devotional service. And you cook for your family, you take care of your children, you take care of your husband. Anything you do, it's only for one thing. And now you are given, like in an office, you are given few people under you. Similarly, Krishna gave your husband, wife, or children to you. Now take care of them. Sometimes you can utilize the office member for your personal food delivery and other things, but most of the time you should make sure that they are serving the office. Similarly, your family members can do your personal things, but we should be conscious they're all Krishna's servants. They're meant to serve Krishna. I have to somehow make sure that they are engaged in Krishna's service, either directly or indirectly, because they are meant for Krishna. Krishna gave me because I have to engage them in his service. Office gave you employees so that you engage them. I'm just giving very gross, but it is much more, means it's very complicated. It's not like office and boss relation. Why I'm telling is the state of understanding should be very clear, that they belong to Krishna, they need to be engaged in Krishna's service. That clarity should be very. Then everything is devotional service only. You are taking care of your children, yes, because slowly I'll make them favorable to Krishna conscious. Or if they become already devotees, that is much more good. They have to be engaged. Wife should be engaged, husband should be directly or indirectly, like that. That is the principle behind it. So all the items you have in the house, they belong to Krishna only. You can have, you can utilize it, you can do little bit sense gratification with them, but ultimately knowing the purpose is Krishna gave, so that we will be engaged in his service. Hope this is clear. And I think we have not crossed so much. The third chapter is of change of heart, and then the fourth chapter is, sorry, the process of creation, and now we have the fifth chapter, which is very important, is causes of all causes. Okay, we'll just read the 2-3 translations so that you will remember what is happening. So here, the conversation is between Narada Muni and Brahma. What happened is, when Parikshit Maharaj asked Sukadeva Goswami, tell me about the process of creation, because that was the last chapter. Then he says, yes, it's the same question asked by Narada to Brahma. And Narada is asking Brahmaji, first he glorifies him. And he says, O chief among the demigods, O firstborn living entity, I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Please tell me that transcendental knowledge which specifically directs one to the truth of individual soul and the super soul. My dear father, please describe factually the symptoms of this manifested world. what is this background and how it is created, how it is conserved, and under whose control is all that is being done. This is a very important question. If we get a proper understanding of this question, life is very easy. Sarva Karana Karana. That is what. That is the question he's asking. And he says, my dear father, all that is known to you scientifically, because whatever you created in the past, whatever will be created in the future, or whatever is being created at present, as well as everything within the universe is within your grip, just like a walnut. This is a very famous shloka. Sarvam hi etad bhavan veda, bhuta bhavya bhavat prabhu. Karma, this is karma laka vad vishvam vijnana pasitam tava. He says that this is everything is in your grip, like a walnut, past, present, future created. Prabhupada writes, Brahma is the direct creator of the manifested universe and everything within the universe. He therefore knows what happens in the past, what will happen in the future, what will happen at the present. Three principal items, namely the living beings, the phenomenal world, and the controller. These three things. And all is continuous, all are in continuous action, past, present, and future. And the direct manager is supposed to know everything of such actions and reactions as one knows about a walnut within the grip of one's palm. The direct manufacturer of a particular thing is supposed to know how he learned the art of manufacturing, where he got the ingredients, how he set it up, and how the products in the manufacturing process are being turned out. Because Brahma is a firstborn living being, naturally he is supposed to know everything about the creative functions. Now, this is very important example. What Prabhupada is giving, see, now we say how Brahma can know the future. But that Prabhupada is giving this answer. Prabhupada is saying, like say now I have a machine which can produce bead bags. Okay, Kartal. Now I have made this machine. I know if I put a raw material here and then it processes and the outcome of this is they'll have kartals. And I can have some tables, I can have chairs. So like that, I know what is going to come with the mission because I created it. I am taking care of the mission and I know output. So Brahma's knowing of this creation is like that only, that much only. But uh, and he knows these living entities, they are conditioned like this and they are going to act like this. Like say, now child is there. Mother knows, very small children, no? How the child is going to react in certain situations. Mother will tell her, don't give this, she will cry. And no, mother knows how the child is going to react. That means she knows the future. She knows future, what child is going to do. If the mother knows as soon as the child comes from the school, what she is going to do. She knows the future. He says she will not keep the shoes in the rack. She will not remove the dress and she will just sit in front of TV. Now mother knows the future in the way that because she knows the nature of the child. She knows she has to tell, keep the shoes in the rack and remove, change the dress. All these things are knowing in a way that because same thing Brahma is also knowing that these are the condition of living entity, this is how they are going to act. But Lord knowing will be, he can change also. Anyway, that is a different topic. But these are the things, he knows the past, present and future in a way that he knows how the living entities are conditioned, how they are going to function. Like that's what the example I'm understanding. If somebody has any other, they can please comment. And now he says these are very important questions because the conversation is not between some ordinary people. It is between Narada and Brahmaji. That means such a important conversation between such great personalities like Narada and Brahma. Very, very helpful to hear their conversation, how much it is going to benefit our personal life because their conversation is always Loka Sangraha. It is for the welfare of all the living entities. Narada asking, my dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing? Under under whom are you working? What is your real position? You see, under whom you are working. Who is your boss? With whom did you sign your contract with to work for? What is your real position? Do you alone create all the entities with material elements by your personal energy? Prabhupada is writing, it was known to Sri Narada Muni that Lord Brahma attained creative energy by undergoing severe austerities. As such, he could understand that there is someone else superior to Brahmaji who invested Brahma with the powers of creation. Therefore, he asked all the above questions. Discoveries of progressive scientific achievements are therefore not independent. Very nice point, Prabhupada. Discoveries of progressive scientific advancement are therefore not independent. The scientists have to attain the knowledge of things already existing by means of wonderful brain made by somebody else. Scientists can work with the help of such an awarded brain, but it is not possible for the scientist to create his own similar brain. Therefore, no one is independent in terms of any creation, nor in such creation automatically. Prabhupada's logic is so nice. Yes, Mataji, you have some question.
Prabhuji, it looks like Narada Muni is asking here the question like a layman, no, Prabhuji, like as if he doesn't know anything. Is it just a Leela?
He really have a doubt in this situation.
Because Narada Muni knows about Lord, no, Prabhuji. Like at 5 years old, he became Narada Muni only after a devotee, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
true.
that's what I always, when I read this, I have a confusion because we are studying him in the first canto. We see how Narada Muni becomes a devotee, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
And here he's asking question as if I don't know anything about Lord. So I was wondering whether it's a Leela.
It can be, it is Leela also. He is kept in that ignorance so that we all get benefited.
If it is Swayambhu Manu or anyone else, at least we can understand Prabhuji as a Brahma's son. They can
Yeah.
ask because they are all here only. But Narada Muni is Trikal Yagni, like he is already a devotee, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is why I want to ask.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, Prabhuji.
This is a very nice point Prabhupada is making. We have to always, if we remember, if we understand this, then we'll not get bewildered. Even the knowledge which scientists are doing, it is given by Krishna only. Why Krishna is allowing scientists to do such discoveries? Because of the desire of the living entity. Scientists are able to make this laptop or our mobiles or internet. You just sit here and somehow the signals from my mobile goes up in the sky somewhere in the satellite, which I never know where it is. And then that from the satellites come to your laptop or mobile and you are able to see. Now, such a great technology, we don't even know how this works. And just fraction, I'm speaking and directly you are hearing and we are able to see each other. Now, this is a technology. Lord has allowed the scientists to make it. That is which should be very clear for us. These are technologies, much more technologies in the lower planetary systems. These are all allowed by Lord. Why? Living entity want to enjoy. I want to see previously, if very small, there was no much TV. People used to sit in front of radio and listen to the cricket commentaries, and they were almost like if I used to hear that people used to keep the radio and they were they used to travel like that with radio in the ear. Now they have mobile in the hand and seeing also the same tendency. Means that time it was a big thing, all the time they're having radio and hearing the commentaries of cricket. Now they see the cricket, and now after that there are so many other complicated things. Anyway, the point what I'm telling is now they are betting on cricket. They just don't see cricket. They put money because what happens to the mind is, anyway, that is different topic. But I'll just tell this: what happens to mind? It always needs some excitement. Now, just watching cricket is no more exciting for many people now. They want to pay for it. They say, okay, I'll bet who will win, who will lose. They want to excite the brain. But basically, the point is how we got all this technology is it is all given by Lord because the living entity want to enjoy in a particular way like that. And then here Nardamani further asks, as a spider, this is another, these two are actually three are very important shlokas. Like walnut, everything in his control. And this verse is also very important. You can understand it. As the spider very easily creates a network of its cobweb and manifests its powers of creation without being defeated by others, so also you yourself, by employment of your self-sufficient energy, create without any other's help. This is what Nardaman is asking. This is a very good example. What happens? Spider from its mouth, the web comes and it can take everything inside its mouth. This is the spider's ability. It looks like, oh, you have created on your own everything and then your everything is under your control. And Prabhupada says the best example of self-sufficiency is the sun. The sun does not require to be illuminated by any other body. Rather, it is the sun which helps all other illuminating agents. For in the presence of sun, no other illuminating agent becomes prominent. Narada compared the position of Brahma to the self-sufficiency of the spider, who creates its own field of activity without any other's help by employing of its own energetic creation of saliva. This is actually what Lord does. Everything is coming from him, everything goes from him, everything rests on him. This is what is uh, Ashraya. It is Yatova imani bhutani jayante. It is Yataha Yena Yasmin. Everything is from the Lord, everything is maintained, sustained by the Lord, everything enters into the Lord. Like, and he says, whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal, or temporary, it is not created from any source other than that of your Lordship, that so great. So this is all applicable to the Supreme Lord. Narada is giving this, that, oh, whatever you understand, the nomenclatures, the features and characteristics, superior, inferior, equal. I am seeing no one, no created form or any source other than you. Everything is coming. Prabhupada is writing, the manifested world is full of varieties of created beings in 84 species of, like species of life, and some of them are superior and inferior to others. In human society, the human being is considered to be superior living being, and among the human being there are also different varieties, good, bad, equal, etc. But Narada Muni took for granted that none of them has any source of generation besides his father. Brahmaji, therefore, he wanted to know all about them from Lord Brahma. And he says, yet, this is important, yet we are moved to wonder about the existence of someone more superior than you when we think of your great austerities in perfect discipline, although your good self is so powerful in the matter of creation. Sir, you are so powerful. Why are you doing meditation? This is an important question we can ask many people. No, so-called so gods also they do meditation. They do. Of course, they say Krishna also did meditation when he was in Dwarka. Every day morning, he used to wake up and do meditation. He is doing meditation to set example. He's not doing meditation to become God. Because he is God from the when he was born with four hands, when he killed Putana, he didn't get time for meditation. So meditation don't make anybody God. But here Brahmaji is meditating. So Naradaman is wondering, what are you meditating on? You yourself is supreme. Everything is coming from you. Everything is in your control like wallet. Everything is coming from you, going through you like a spider. Everything is under your energies. And whatever we are seeing, the Shloka where it says the characteristics, the nomenclatures, the features of particular thing, superior, inferior, equal, everything is. But why are you doing meditation? This is the point. Like no, we ask this question also. Like people say, "Oh, Arjuna," Krishna is asking, "Arjuna, you are so intelligent. Then why are you unhappy?" That is the point. People say we are so intelligent. Oh, you are so intelligent person, no? You are doing so many things. Then why are you unhappy? These people don't have answer. Because why? We are not the controller. That is the point. Why we are unhappy is we are not the controller. Controller is Krishna. That's why he is always happy. And we can be happy when we accept Krishna and accept his will, cause of all causes. If we understand the cause of all causes, then we can always be happy. Otherwise, we want to become Lord, then it is not possible. Same thing here, Narayana. You are the Lord, you are the cause of all causes, then why you need to meditate? The Prabhupada is writing nice purport. Following in the footsteps of Sri Narada Muni, one should not blindly accept his spiritual master as God himself. A spiritual master is duly represented on a par with God, but a spiritual master claiming to be God himself should at once be rejected. Narada Muni accepted Brahma as the supreme due to Lord Brahma's wonderful acts in creation. But doubts arose in him when he saw that Lord Brahma also worshipped some superior authority. The Supreme is supreme and he has no worshipable superiors. The Aham Gopasakas, or the one who worship himself with the idea of becoming God himself, is misleading. An intelligent disciple can at once detect that Supreme God does not need to worship anyone, including himself, in order to become God. Ahamgopasana may be one of the process of transcendental realization, but the Ahamgopasana Sita can never be God himself. No one becomes God by undergoing process of transcendental realization. Narada Muni thought of Brahma as a supreme person. But when he saw Brahmaji engaged in the process of transcendental realization, doubts arose in him. So he wanted to clarify, he wanted to be clearly informed. And then he asked, my dear father, you know everything, and you are the control of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me, so that I may be able to understand it as your student. The inquiries made by Narada Muni are very important for everyone concerned, and as such, Narada requested Brahmaji to deem them suitable so that all others who may come in the line of disciplic section of Brahma's Sampradaya may also know them properly without any difficulty. Now comes the answers of Brahmaji. Now Brahma, he heard these questions. Narada is very nicely putting. This is a very nice conversation. We should always remember who is the cause of all causes. Before we should not become proud in creation. And this is the important section of this canto. Narada's question to Brahmaji is the very important section because all these answers by Brahmaji are very important. Her Brahma said, my dear boy Narada, being merciful to all, including me, you have all asked these questions and thus inspired me to see into the powers of Almighty Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada writes, Brahmaji being so questioned by Naradaji, congratulated him, for it is usual for the devotees to become very enthusiastic whenever they are questioned concerning the Almighty Personality of Godhead. That is the sign of a pure devotee of the Lord. Such discourses on the transcendental activities of the Lord purify the atmosphere in which such discourses are held, and the devotees thus become enlivened while answering such questions. It is purifying both for the questioner and for one who answers the question. The pure devotees are not satisfied only by knowing everything about the Lord. They are also eager to broadcast the information to others, for they want to see that the glories of Lord are known to everyone. Thus, the devotee feels satisfied when such an opportunity is offered to him. This is the basic principle of missionary activities. So this purport is very clear. And now he answers the questions. This is a very, now Brahma is very humble. He's telling, whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. Brahma is very humbly telling, yeah, whatever we are telling is true only. Why? Because who don't know Supreme Lord, they will think me as the Supreme. Because I look like Supreme, I'm acting like Supreme. Brahma, after acting like means is completely supreme in one way, is doing everything, but he knows that it is not me. But here people they cannot do anything, but still they feel they are supreme. That is the major difference. Brahma, after doing also, he knows I am not supreme. Brahma is doing all the supreme activities. He's maintaining, creating, destroying, means in one level. He's doing everything, but still he considers no. But here living at this, Prabhupada gives that say the example for Tamal Krishna that how he is uh, the center of the universe. Prabhupada gives the same example. The frog in the well. Logic illustrates that the frog residing in the atmosphere and boundary of a well cannot imagine the length and breadth of the gigantic ocean. Such a frog, when informed of the gigantic length and breadth of the ocean, first of all does not believe that there is such an ocean. And if someone assures him that factually that is such a thing, the frog then begins to measure by its imagination by means of pumping its belly as far as possible, with the result that the tiny abdomen of the frog bursts and the poor frog dies without any experience of the actual ocean. Similarly, the material scientist also want to challenge the inconceivable potency of the Lord by measuring him with their frog-like brains and their scientific achievements, but at the end, they simply die unsuccessfully like the frogs. Sometimes materially powerful men is accepted as God or incarnation of God without any knowledge of the factual God. Such a material assignment may be gradually extended, and the attempts may reach to the highest limit of Brahmaji, who is the topmost living being within the universe and has a duration of life unimaginable to the material scientist. As we get information from the most authentic book of knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita, Brahmaji's one day and night is calculated to be some hundreds of thousands of years on our planet. This long duration of life may not be believed by the frog in the well. But persons who have a realization of truths mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita accept the existence of a great personality who creates the variegatedness of the complete universe. It is understood from the revealed scriptures that the Brahmaji of this universe is younger than all other Brahmajis in charge of many, many universes beyond this, but none of them can be equal to the personality of God. Actually, what we have to do, some things which we already understand, and Bhagavad Gita talks about psychology, about samskaras, vasanas, impressions. They are very easy to understand and relate to. Based on that, we can understand other things. Okay, if this part is talking and it is very relevant, it is making sense. Then to understand other 6 chapters, the middle 6 chapters also becomes very easy to understand because oh, such a logical explanation who can give? Who is the creator only can give. And he's telling, I am the creator, I am doing it. Then our faith on what Krishna tells about the creation and all these things becomes very easy. Now, just last this one para will read. Narada ji is one of the liberated souls, and after his liberation, he was known as Narada. Otherwise, before his liberation, he was simply a son of a maidservant. The question may be asked the question may be asked why Narada was not aware of the Supreme Lord and why he misconceived Brahmaji to the Supreme Lord. Although factually he was not. A liberated soul is never bewildered by such a mistake and idea. So why did Nardi ask all these questions just like an ordinary man with a poor fund of knowledge? There are such bewilderment in Arjuna also, although he is eternally the associate of Lord. Such bewilderment of Arjuna or Narada takes place by the will of Lord, so thus others, non-liberated persons may realize the real truth and knowledge of the Lord. The doubt arising in the mind of Narada after Brahmaji is becoming all-powerful is a lesson for the frog in a well that they may not be bewildered in misconceiving the identity of the personality of God, and even by comparison to the personality like Brahma. So, what to speak of ordinary men who falsely pose themselves as God or an incarnation of God? The Supreme Lord is always supreme, and as we have tried to establish many times in these purports, no living being, even up to the stand of Brahma, can claim to be one with the Lord. One should not be misled when people worship a great man as God after his death as a matter of hero worship. There are many kings like Lord Ramachandra, the king of Ayodhya. but none of them are manifested as God in the revealed scriptures. None of them are mentioned as God in this. To be a good king is not necessarily the qualification for being Lord Rama, but to be a great personality like Krishna is the qualification for being the personality of Godhead. If we scrutinize the characters who took uh, who took part in the battle of Kurukshetra, we may find that Maharaj Yudhishthira was also no less pious king than Lord Ramchandra. And by character study, Maharaj Yudhishthira was a better moralist than Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna asked Maharaj Yudhishthira to lie, but Maharaj Yudhishthira protested. But that does not mean that Maharaj Yudhishthira could be equal to Lord Ramchandra or Lord Krishna. The great authorities have estimated Maharaj Yudhishthira to be pious man, but they have accepted Lord Rama or Krishna as the personality of God. The Lord is therefore a different identity in all circumstances, and no idea of anthropomorphism can be applied to him. The Lord is always the Lord, and the common man being can never be equal to Lord. Okay, thank you very much. Tomorrow we'll meet at 7:15 because tomorrow there is no Vishnu Chikal Thakur. Radhashtami, I will see if you can